Gobble, gobble, social studies listeners. Happy Thanksgiving week if you're into that sort of thing. And happy not Thanksgiving week if you're Jehovah's Witness. I don't know. I got shows coming up.
Or from England.
Or if you're from England. Not this week. I'm off this week, and I'm off next week too. But the 8th, 9th, and 10th of December, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. The week after that, I'm in Appleton, Wisconsin, the 13th and the 14th of December. Then Fort Wayne, Indiana on the 15th. And then Louisville, Kentucky the rest of the weekend, the 16th and the 17th. I would love to see you there. Get your tickets at MrDtimes3.com, y'all.
And I will be on January 7th in Austin, January 28th in St. Louis, February 22nd in Boston with Jimmy Cash. Some of you heard him on the podcast before, The Janitor. March 31st and March 1st, I will be in Rochester, New York. I will also be February 23rd, 24th, 25th in Washington. I'll be in Washington with Joe Spicani.
Gaspare. So, Thanksgiving pilgrims. You're the history teacher. Where did pilgrims come from? The UK? Did they come from?
Originally everyone in America is from England, kind of. Well, no. Let me backtrack that. That's not true.
So before you try and get us canceled on our own goddamn podcast.
I meant in the sense of the people you're talking about, the pilgrims. They are from England or the motherland of England, and they would have came over on the ships, such as the Mayflower and others, and they would have settled on the East Coast where I currently live, which is where they started the 13 colonies.
Have you been? Oh my God, Gaspare, before we even get into this, there was the funniest video I saw the other day on Instagram. This little girl, she was dead ass serious. She was in the back of her car and she asked her mom, she goes, "Mom, were you alive when the 13 colonies were around?" And she goes, "How old do you think I am?" She goes, "Were you?" She goes, "I'm 34. And the little girl goes, "Okay, so yes."
I'm impressed the girl knew what the 13 colonies were.
I mean, they probably had just learned it that day. Anyway, this was an attempt to a segue. The closest thing to a pilgrim is what we have on the podcast today. You might know him from the Two Mr. P's podcast with his brother, Lee Parkinson. Welcome to the Social Studies podcast for the second time, actually, but the first time on the revamped one, Adam Parkinson. How are you?
Very own pilgrim.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, thrilled to be here.
Welcome. You are our pilgrim ambassador.
Pilgrim of the month.
I appreciate it. I mean, I have to be honest, I don't know what a pilgrim is.
Oh.
I work in a school and I try and inspire, but I couldn't even, if you ask me now, describe what a pilgrim is. Sure. I mean, I'm guessing someone who goes on a pilgrimage, but is that?
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess that wouldn't make sense to you guys. So on our end of the pond here, the pilgrims were the people who came from England and settled. But I guess you're right. It's people going on a pilgrimage, which would then... Let me Google it, Joe, while you talk.
Yeah, you Google it before we get canceled, because I feel like we're going to have the entire UK on our ass after this one. Anyway.
I hope I don't lose anything.
Well, okay, Adam, I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for you to come on the podcast. Where do your thoughts lie on David Beckham? First of all, we'll start there.
My thoughts on David Beckham?
Yep.
Absolutely love the guy, worship the guy.
Really?
And
from a soccer standpoint or from a Married to a Spice Girl standpoint?
Unless you're going to tell me something horrendous. Well, not only, I mean, obviously, he played for Manchester United, which is my team and has always been my team, and I loved him growing up. I'm a massive, obviously, England football fan. World Cup coming up, where obviously we play you lot, don't we? In a couple of weeks, play the USA, so that's going to be fun. But David Beckham was just an idol, and obviously the haircuts. I once took a picture of David Beckham into the barbers and said, "I want that haircut," and he looked at the picture, screwed it up, threw it in the bin, and started cutting my hair. Midway through the cut, he went back to the bin and opened the picture.
Did you look like him?
Oh no, I look like an ill turkey. That's what people said. He's like, you went to look like Beckham and you look like an ill turkey. I was just like, thanks.
Do you know what's really nuts? David Beckham, when I was, so how old are you, Adam?
34.
Okay, yeah, so you're our
We're
age.
all the same age.
David Beckham was like, even when I was in high school, I was like, this is a good looking guy. And I wasn't, I was like, wow. And I actually think I also, at one point in my life, wanted to look like him. I don't think I went to the barber, but I remember like looking in a mirror and I was like, I could shave my head because he had like the short hair at one point.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I just, look get tougher looking, like I could look just like David Beckham. And then I was like, oh, I lack everything he has. Like I just was small, but I remember wanting to look like him.
Shy.
Are you fans of Beckham?
Well, the reason why I asked you that was because, like, I guess for an American, it's like, I'm not. You know what I mean? My reference knowledge to him is very small. The biggest thing that I know about him, besides the fact that he's a soccer player, is that he was a Calvin Klein underwear model, which says a lot about me. Anyway.
Oh, so I didn't even know that.
Oh, yeah, it was a thing in my prime. So, but he recently posted on Instagram. He must have went to a wedding or something. And, it was
Ginger. I think I know. Is this where the Spice Girls were dancing?
Yeah.
No, he threw a 50th birthday party for one of them.
Jerry.
It was Jerry Halliwell, wasn't it? It was Ginger Spice, yeah.
Oh, she was the best.
Oh, I thought she got married.
There's quite a few UK. There's quite a few like UK, B, C listers who were at the party as well. So on some of the socials, they were there. Yeah.
Now, do you consider the Spice Girls B list or C list?
Oh no, Spice Girls are A+.
Oh, they're still. No, I wanted to make sure they were still in the A. I don't know.
I'm about to kick you off our own podcast. That's insane, Gaspar. Do you know what
I don't know if they
the effect they had? Stop right now. Thank you very much.
I saw the movie
I need
in
somebody
theaters.
with a human touch.
I know. I saw the movie in theaters.
And what else do you know?
It was fantastic. I remember I stood up.
What was the movie called?
I stood up. I yelled, Spice World.
All right. Okay. I'll give it to you.
I even stood up at the end of the movie and I yelled, girl power. And I did the peace sign.
Can you name all of them?
Were you studying the movie to try and look like David Beckham even more?
No, I didn't even know he was part of them. In America, soccer's I don't know about for you, Joe, but like for me in New York City, soccer has always been like irrelevant. We didn't know I would have never known David Beckham as a soccer player. All I knew him as
soccer was a big deal where I grew up because there was a lot of Eastern Europeans from where I'm from. But Gaspar, can you name all the Spice Girls? Go.
Of course. Ginger, Posh, Baby, Sporty, Scary. And I even probably know their real names. I used to collect the stickers with the lollipops.
Oh my God, you are an ally.
Can you go full names there? Like, not full names.
Jerry Holloway, Victoria Beckham, Mel B. I don't know what the B stands for. Mel C. I don't know what the C stands for. Who I left one out. Oh, Baby. Is Baby one of the Mels?
No,
you've already done the two Mels.
Baby's
Emily
name was...
Burton.
Oh, Emily
Burton. Not
all right.
Emily.
4 out of 5.
Emma.
It's not
Emma.
Emily.
Oh,
It's Emma Bunton.
Emma Bunton. Oh, so you guys are like Spice Girl fanatics over there.
Do you know? I'm not. Do you know what I know? A funny Spice Girls story. So I was never the biggest Spice Girls fan, but I obviously I appreciate them and they had some huge tunes. But one year, my mum was really upset because we'd not really done anything for her for Mother's Day. And do you remember that song they had?
Mama,
I love you.
Oh my God.
Me and my brothers did like a choreographed dance to that and she was in floods of tears.
Adam, me and my sister did the same freaking thing. One Mother's Day, we sang, Mama, I love you. We went back and forth and sang it to my mom. That's fucking weird.
It's free and it didn't cost you a penny.
And the Spice Girls gave us our presents. Speaking of Mother's Day, I have a weird Mother's Day story. One year for Mother's Day, I went to a you know what Marshall's is? Or like TJ Maxx? It's like a clothing store.
Yeah, no TK Maxx, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I went in and I asked them, I said, oh, I want to buy something from my mom, maybe like pajamas. I was like maybe 11 or 12. But they go, oh, there's pajamas. I had no fucking clue. I didn't know. I bought my mom a silky, I don't know what the hell it was, but it was like a sexy, silky robe. So I gave it to her on Mother's Day in a box. And my family still to this day is like, oh, you want to buy mom some sexy lingerie? And my dad was like high-fiving me. He's like, yeah, thanks for the gift for mom. And I was like, I don't get it. I was like, I got her pajamas. And my whole family's like, yo, you love mom. Like, you want to see mom in a robe. Like, and I didn't know.
I think the only way that could have been worse is if you presented it while singing Mama by the Spice Girls.
That is bad. That is bad. You lose. You lose. Adam, question. Are you still teaching?
Yeah. So still in the classroom full time. I kind of do cover across the whole school. So I work from,
which is kind of what you were doing last time we talked, I think.
Yeah. No, I've not really done much since the last time we talked.
What's cover?
So it was pre-pandemic when we first.
No, it was.
Spoke,
it was honestly. I'll look back at the date of when you were on, but it was like right at the beginning of the pandemic. Like we started scheduling it before the world truly shut down, but it was like April 2020.
Was it?
Oh, yeah, I remember I hadn't left my house. Like I remember recording it from my bedroom.
Yeah. Oh, I do. Yeah. Yeah, I remember all the Spice Girls posters in the background.
What's
but yeah, no, that's crazy.
Yeah, what is cover teaching? Is that
so? It's like, obviously when teachers get like planning time, so they get to go out of the class and have like an afternoon to do some planning and marking and all that kind of stuff. I then go in and teach whatever they were going to teach.
So a bunch of different grades every day.
Yeah. So
are you like a sub? Is it a sub teacher?
It's what my role is like, it's called a HLTA, which is like a higher level teaching assistant. So it's basically like one under a teacher. So I can have classes on my own. I can go and teach lessons and stuff. I just don't have to do like the planning and all of that kind of stuff. It works for me because that sort of stuff isn't my bag at all. And I do all of like the school sport, take all the kids to competitions and things like that, which is
so. Do you have to know about every topic, or you just kind of go in and there's a lesson on the table for you?
The lessons on the table for me. And most teachers, they leave me just like really simple bullet points on Post-it notes because I don't do well with a lot of words. I'm just better if they go, right, you're doing this. PowerPoints. Just give me a PowerPoint, and I will make a PowerPoint last as long as you need it to last for.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. You know what? It probably also, I never even heard of that. It's probably actually a little more exciting because you're doing something different every day. Like if I teach a topic, I'm doing
multiple times a day.
Yeah.
And I think it's the different children you work with, obviously, because you can have more of a a grown-up chat with the 9, 10, 11-year-olds. But then when you go down to like, the 4, 5-year-olds.
Oh, so you're like
I remember
every grade.
It was my birthday. It was my birthday a couple of weeks ago. And I wore a new top. And I was feeling good. I had my hair cut, my beard trimmed. I was feeling really fresh.
Just like David Beckham.
And I walked in, and this little kid just looked at me and went, "Sir, are you pregnant?" And I just was like, maybe I need to buy the next size because it must have been a little bit too tight around my old tummy.
When I was teaching kindergarten, one time I had a zit on my face. It was like right in the middle of my forehead, fair size, not huge, but not small. And I took one step into my classroom and my class started screaming, "He's been shot! He's been shot!" I was like, oh my God. Yeah, I got shot and just came to work was the first thing that I wanted to do.
Yeah, well, listen, if you ever need to be humbled, kids will do that to you real quick.
100%. Yeah. I think that's the joy is we have, obviously on the two Mr. P's, we have like a feature called like Teacher Burns. And it's when kids just say stuff to you, and it can be intentional, unintentional, where it kills you. And the funniest one, or the one that pops into my head, was this woman got in touch with us and said, she bought this new dress for work and she was buzzing. She'd wanted this dress for ages, and it was kind of like a red sequin, kind of a smart dress, but it looked, she thought it looked fire. And she walked into a class, and she said she had a class of the really wrong choice makers. And as she walked in, she said kind of like she swayed in, feeling herself. And then one kid went, "Who do you think you are, Miss fucking Lady Gaga?" And then the teacher just said she never wore the dress again.
Yeah, well, because it'll ruin it for you. Once I wore pants that were slightly baggy at the bottom, and I'm talking very slight, the kids called me MC Hammer all day. And I was like, fuck this. I'm never wearing these pants again. And every time I dress up, they're always like, "Oh, what are you going to court after school?" I'm like, no, I this is my clothes. So, but every time they'd be like, "Oh, what do you got, court later?" I'm like, "Yep, court." Because I'm wearing a dress pants. Court, like, going to court.
Out of all things,
like you've done.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
I thought you weren't sure what court was.
No, but like of all things, court. Like my mind would have been like, "Oh, are you going to a wedding? Are you going to?"
Yeah,
but they strictly went straight to court.
Listen,
I think that says a lot about
we all teach different kind of people.
Let's just say. I actually dug up. So behind me, I dug up a bunch of. This is so crazy. I don't know, Adam. I'm a huge believer in like, what's it, manifesting and like putting it out into the world, and just like doing that shit. So I always kept drawings, like cool drawings and things that the kids would make me, because I always knew that one day I would have some sort of studio and I would make it the background. And I just whipped them all out today, and I started kind of like making it. But
I was going to say, it looks different back there.
This is my first class ever. And can we just zoom in on this little shithead for a minute? That is.
Oh, I thought you were showing us a student. I was like, that's.
No, that is 22-year-old me. Look at this guy. No business being in that classroom. I'm hung over as shit in that picture. This is crazy.
It's really wild to think. Like, when did you start teaching? You were 22?
Yeah, 22. I remember I turned 23, and one of the secretaries, she was like, "Oh, happy birthday. How old are you, 25? And I was like, 25. And she's like, 24. I was like, 24? I was like, I'm 23. She's like, just leave. Just get out of here. And now I feel like that with these children.
Do you have like name badges? Do you have like kind of identification that you wear, like a
lanyard?
Like a lanyard, yeah.
Oh, we were supposed
to. That's the kind of like the realization when you have that picture done on your card, and then after a few years, people look at the card and be like, "Wow, God, how long ago was that taken?
Like, why do you have so much hair?
Look how thin. Look how thin you were. That's the one I get the most.
Oh, you weren't pregnant back then.
Yeah, that's
it. This job, like teaching, will age you like no other job. You will walk in as a fresh-faced 22-year-old, and you will walk out looking like a Shar-Pei that crossbred with a melted candle. Like, it will literally just change the whole structure of your face. It's nuts.
Yeah, but see, in some ways, like, I feel like I've aged better since being a teacher.
Wow, bold. Wow, bold.
I think I'm less stressed as a teacher than I was as an Applebee's waiter. Because I don't care. So I just, I don't know. You know what it is? My hair was always short. So when I look at pictures, I'm like, that was just a bad haircut for a few years, And then when my hair got longer, I feel like it rounded my face out better because I had like a weird shaped head, but I'd buzz my head.
Well,
so it was like my own fault.
I'll let you hold on to that.
Okay. I mean, it's just a fact. So,
you need to get over the David Beckham failure of the buzz cut.
I held on too long.
Still cutting deep.
I used to want the mohawk he had, the whole, he had it all. He had great hair. I actually went to his house, not in it. I just drove by it. I went on a tour in London, and they took us like on the outskirts, and they were like, "Here's where David Beckham lives." It might not
Buckingham Palace, wasn't it?
No. Well, we went to Beckham.
That's what it is. That was it. Like his nickname.
Oh, was it? No, it was.
Beckingham Palace.
It had like 50-foot high walls. It was like insane. Cameras everywhere. We couldn't even see the house. All you saw was the gates. So
yeah.
But it looked nice.
I have never been, and I need to. I have a crazy fan base in the UK. I definitely need to come do shows.
Have you never been to the UK anywhere?
Nope, never. Never even touched foot. All right, we're going to cut to a commercial break really quick. When we get back, we're going to talk about crazy stories of being observed in the classroom. We'll be right back. All right, observations have always been the bane of my existence, because honestly, it's never sit well with me that your principal is observing you, because sometimes, like, I had a principal one time who was only a teacher for 4 years before he became a principal, and I was like, what the hell do you know? Like, what are you gonna, now you're over here judging me? You never even taught 4th grade. You know what I mean? It was weird.
Yeah. Most of them taught for at least 6 months, so that's good.
I don't. It's
It's hard because it's hard for me to even talk about it right now because but yeah, I mean, I've been not in my current place where I am now, but in my old school, I have some crazy observation stories, and I'm sure you got some, Adam, as well, and I'm sure Joe, you got it. I'm sure. I think it's inevitable that you're going to deal with it. It's crazy to think that you're with kids 180 days out of the year and you're evaluated on if you can teach or not based on 2 15-minute snapshots of your classroom. Because I know I've definitely let 15 minutes get away from me more times than not. And if they happen to walk in those 15, you're screwed. And it sucks to be evaluated on that.
It's not a true reflection either, is it? Like,
not at all.
If you know you're getting observed, you're going to play the game. You're going to bribe your class.
You're the donuts.
Walk in and be like this super teacher when, most days you walk in like, right, come on, settle down, let's get on. This day you'll be walking in going like, good morning, beautiful class. Like, how are you today? It's completely playing the game.
Well, it's also
and they know it too.
And it's also not accurate either because it's one person's opinion. It's all an opinion. Like, one person has a spreadsheet and every category, like 0 to 5 or whatever, that's just their opinion of how they thought how well you did when they saw it. Like, somebody else could see it and think the totally opposite of what they saw. So they're just arbitrary. It's so bizarre to me.
Well, like in New York City, let's say like I come in and I observe you and I give you a shitty rating. I would have to give you a shitty rating for 2 straight years. Then they would bring in, I don't know if this is exactly the rule, but then I think on the 3rd year, they have to bring in an outside person to observe you because it could be personal. I could just hate you and just say, fuck it, I'm going to just, demolish this guy. So then they bring in an outside person to determine if you actually suck or if it's just they hate you. So It basically takes you 3 years to get in trouble for being a bad teacher.
Adam, how do they work in the UK?
So it's like, you'll have your in-school observations where your head teacher or your principal will come round with, the higher, we call them SLT. I don't know if you call them SLT, like senior leadership
school leadership team.
Yeah. So they'll come round and they'll observe teachers in different lessons. But then what we have over here it's called Ofsted, basically. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. So it's basically like they judge all schools as a whole. So they will come and inspect your school, and basically it can affect your pay, it can affect your kind of grants, it can affect everything, what they rate you as a school. My brother absolutely cannot stand it. And, they proved during lockdown, he always says this, they proved during lockdown that they did absolutely nothing. They're there supposedly to help teachers and school staff, but actually all they do is stress them out. But if you want a first quick tale, so imagine, this Ofsted, it's like I'll put it in like, I think like it's like the Super Bowl for a teacher. It's like the main event. If you're getting observed by an Ofsted inspector, you have to do well because it obviously goes on your record and it also goes in the school you've been at and how they are rated. So basically, we got sent this story once where
oh god,
just before lunch, a teacher, we'll call her Miss Jones, was told that she was being observed after lunch, and she'd not been told, so it was a late shout. And the Ofsted inspector said, "Right, I want to go and see Miss Jones teach after lunch." So they've come in and said, "Miss Jones, you're getting observed after lunch." So she spent the whole dinner time prepping a lesson, getting all the resources, getting everything ready, setting up the tables. And then with about 2 minutes to go, she forgot that she'd not ate a lunch because she'd been working the whole dinner time. So she quickly shoves this chicken mayo sandwich down her neck, quickly scrans it, and then goes and gets a class. Brings a class up, gets them all sat down, settled down. And the Ofsted inspector walked into the classroom, and Miss Jones walked over and said, "Hi, welcome to class 6. Lovely to meet you." And the Ofsted inspector went like this and pointed to his cheek.
Oh no!
And then Miss Jones leant up and kissed him on the cheek, and he went, he went, no, you've got a bit of mayonnaise there.
Oh my god!
And we always say how brutal from her class. She went to get them from the playground, and not one of them said, "You've got loads of mayo there."
Not even that. Did she know the guy?
No, so he's a complete random
So, like, the fact that she just thought he wanted to kiss her is even better.
She leaned in and planted one on his cheek. But then had to get observed after that. Imagine, you just want the ground to eat you up.
Oh my god. Could you imagine how mortified? I wouldn't be able to finish. I would have been like, "I'm sorry, you need to leave. Like, we got to do this another day."
Yeah, but you know what? I feel like in a sick way, it almost benefits you because you're like, "Hey,
I was so flustered." Oh, yeah.
We had that awkward exchange, like, oopsie, because that would be me. I'd be like, "Oh, ha."
Oh my god, that's good. So good. Can you even top that? That is so good.
No, I mean, so in my old school, so I could talk about this because this is years and years ago.
Yeah.
So we had a kid. I'm getting observed. I have 8 kids in my class. They walk in, security, police officers, all these people, and the principal's in the room observing me. Security, all these people walk in, and they're like, "We need to talk to," we'll call him Adam. They were like, "We need to talk to Adam." I go, "Okay." He goes, "I'm not getting up." I go, "Just go, bud. There's all these security guards here. There's police from the outside real world. The deans are there. Like, deans are like security guards a little." And I'm like, "Yo, just go." He's like, "No, I'm good." So they're like, so I said, "What did he do?" He walked up the street before coming into class and smashed every car window with a brick as he walked into the classroom. So he wouldn't get up. So he's holding the chair, and he refuses to get up, and he's holding it. So they try to get him off the chair. He's holding it. The principal goes, "We can't stay in here." She goes, "Bring your class in the hallway." I brought these 7 kids in the hallway, and I taught a lesson in the hallway, and she observed me based on my lesson in the hallway while the security guards fought this kid in the classroom. Literally, it was like a scene from The Godfather. It was like, you heard just fighting and screaming and crying, not crying, but yelling in the room. And then it would cut back to me. And I'm like, "So the Pilgrims came from England and they landed in the 13 colonies." And then it would cut back to him. He's tearing my room up, smashing stuff. And they took him out in handcuffs. And he just walked right by. And she wrote in my observation, she was a great principal. She wrote in my observation, was able to adapt to strenuous situations or something to that effect. And I was like, you know what? I was.
But do you see how, like, that's how messed up observations? Because another principal might
should have just said, "This isn't the way today."
Right. Yeah. Or and even further, another principal yet might have been like, he did not address the serious situation. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
So many routes.
Yeah. I mean, I've been observed by superintendents where crazy stuff has happened and they wrote me up saying I should have addressed it. I'm like,
dude, I still can't believe that woman kissed him on the cheek, though.
Yeah, that's good. That's really funny.
I know you don't think it can be topped, but I've got a few that are.
Give us more.
Fantastic.
Oh yeah, give us another one. Yours are great.
Right, so I've got this one. Right, so I was being observed in a maths lesson. A fly was causing mayhem. As well, you know. So you know what it's like in a classroom when a fly or a bee or a wasp gets in.
Or a bird flies past the window. It starts to snow. Yeah.
Just ruins
all your
plans
entire
class
are out the window. Yeah. I calmly opened the window and escorted the fly out. I was very chuffed with my handling of the situation and the cooperation of the fly. Fast forward 5 minutes. A pigeon flew right into my classroom through the window I'd left open, sending the kids and myself into a frenzy, resulting in a postponement of my observation and an evacuation of the classroom. Imagine what kids would have been like. A massive dirty pigeon just goes flying straight in. Oh, my days.
I have told this story on the podcast, Gaspare. I'm not sure that I've ever told you, but I had one of my first classes ever. It's either my first class or my second class. We had a class pet rabbit, and her name was Rosie the Reading Rabbit. And when it was reading time, I would let her out of her cage, and she would just hop around the room. And if she hopped into her lap, you had to read out loud to her. Like,
ooh, that's pretty cool.
Great strategy in theory. I'm telling everyone listening, don't get any ideas because rabbits are just poop machines constantly. So anyway, spring started to happen. There was tons of grass and we were learning about like animal adaptations. So I took the kids out to the baseball field and I put Rosie in the outfield and we were all sitting on the bleachers and they had to take notes as we watched her in her natural habitat. Now, Rosie is white, all white, fluff cotton ball. And I set her down in freshly cut bright green grass. We're all watching her. And all of a sudden, a hawk flew down from the sky, scooped her up, and flew away with her.
Oh my God.
They were screaming. The kids were screaming, going crazy. And then one little kid goes, "It's the circle of life." It was literally the most insane day of my life. Hands down.
I mean, I'm assuming it never dropped. The rabbit was gone forever.
Never saw her again.
Wow, that's a great life lesson for the kids.
It was
protect your neck.
You know how when crazy stuff happens in the classroom, you can't teach for the rest of the day? Try the rest of the month.
No, that's traumatic.
They were drawing pictures of her. They wanted to have a funeral for her. They were literally we'd be doing math and they'd be like, "I got one. Rosie had one life. Then we took her out to the baseball field and now she's gone." I'm like, that doesn't even make sense.
"Oh, it's your fault, Mr. D." They all stopped crying.
It was bad. And then I was sitting there and I was like typing up a letter to the parents to try to like explain to them what happened if they like had any questions. And one of my teaching partners, she was like retiring that year. She's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, "I just want the parents, in case their kids come home traumatized." She's like, "Shit happens. Just let it go." So
Did I ever tell you the story about the guy who had the pets in the classroom and he left them?
No.
So there was this teacher, he was like on the verge of retirement. He hated teaching. So every day he would stand in the hallway and just stand there and look down with his arms spread as the kids would run by and be like, "Just plow into me, end my life. Just do it. Just knock me over." Every day he would want to be hit by the kids so he could retire. And it never happened. They would go through his legs. They'd jump over him. And he's like, "Just hit me. Kill me. I don't care."
God.
He was like so he had a whole like barrage of class pets. He had lizards,
Great
snakes,
job with that
fish.
word. Barrage. Very nice.
Yeah, I don't know if that made sense there, but I feel like since we're speaking proper English today.
Yeah. Barrage.
I Googled it with Pilgrim. So he had all the animals. So someone passed away in his family. So he left a note. please feed the fish, did this, did this, did this, did this. Kids come in, they throw the note in the garbage. So the sub had no idea. About a week later, the guy comes back. I think like his mother had passed away. He comes back and all of his animals are just belly up in the back tank. This guy went from like the happy, I mean, not that story made him sound happy, but he was a happy guy before this. Every day he was like, "You fucks wanted to kill my animals. No one thought to feed them. What if we stopped feeding you for a week? How would you feel?" And he would be so sinister to the kids. Everything was about, he was like your students. He'd like make up a word problem and be like, "And, Mr. K had 38 pets and he was gone for 4 days because his mother passed away. And what happened? You killed them all. Because you didn't give a fuck." And he would just stare the kids down. And then like he got crazy. He made his background like a picture of a dead deer. And because he went hunting. So he like made it and just left it up all year. Yeah, it was time for him to retire.
Yeah,
I was going to say, when you said he's quite a happy guy, at no point in that story did you ever see him happy. When he was just like, "Blow into me. Come on, get it over with."
New York City happy. New York City happy.
We think differently. Which is, an Omaha miserable.
Yeah, we think different.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
I also had I had another teacher. She had pet finches and they had babies like all the time. And one time one of the kids, I don't know how, they must have been in the classroom when the teacher wasn't there, just opened the cage door and there were just finches flying everywhere in her classroom. And some of them they could never catch. So it just flew around in a room for like a week.
I know. I think pets in school, they don't mix that well, do they? We had a story recently where a kid said to the teacher, "Can I bring my dog in? I really want to show everyone my dog." And the teacher kind of checked it out, and obviously through health and safety, things like that, she had to say to the child, "I'm really sorry, you can't bring your dog in." The next day, the kid comes to the teacher and says, "I brought my dog in anyway, miss." So the teacher starts panicking, and then the kid hands her a bag, and inside the bag was just dog bones, and he dug up the dog that was buried in his garden the day before.
Oh.
Whoa.
That got dark.
I know, yeah, sorry about that. Do you want me to? I'll lighten the mood. I've got two.
Gonna kill another animal for us real quick.
I've got two more animals. No, I've got three. I've got three more stories, right? But one is, I think, it's an absolute belter. It could even overtake Kissing the Inspector. But I've got two really quick ones here. I was about to be observed by my deputy head. So, like, vice principal, I presume that is.
Deputy head? That sounds alarmingly sexual.
Everything does improve.
You'll ever get.
You know that. We told you last time, didn't we, what we call, when it's what do you call it? Like recess, when it's raining, what do you call it?
Indoor recess.
Indoor recess. You remember what we call it?
No, I forgot, but I haven't forgotten about Sticky Vicky though.
Oh, Sticky Vicky.
What the hell is Sticky Vicky?
Oh, we'll fill you in a minute. But what do you call indoor recess?
Wet play.
No, stop it. No, stop
And then
it.
all the stuff. Stuff. Like the doodling, the games, everything that you get out. It's called the wet play box.
No, it's not.
Anyone who doesn't work in a school would think, "Oh yes, get the wet play box out." But actually,
you guys are noodling in the wet play box though, because I don't even know what the fucking noodling is.
No, doodling. Like
doodling,
scrap
doodling.
paper. Yeah,
got you.
Wait,
did you think we were like making pasta?
I don't know. I thought maybe like a pool noodle and you hit each other with it. I don't know if that's a thing.
I am coming to the UK and I'm literally gonna. So you're like, apparently your weather is very similar to me in Seattle over here. Like your winter is very rainy, right?
Oh, well, to be fair, it's rainy pretty much all year round. We had a pretty good summer this year, but like winter is freezing cold. It's like the frost, rain, ice, and then obviously if you're lucky enough around Christmas, hopefully a bit of snow. But you've got to come over to the UK. It'll be great.
We have the same weather. I'm going to come to the UK and I'm going to come in like April and I'm going to title the tour Wet Play.
That would be great. That would be
done.
You'll attract people from all different walks of life.
I was going to say, you'd probably get some, like, you know, guys there in gimp masks.
yes. Okay, wait. If I did title it Wet Play, would people get it? Would they be like, yeah, bitch, Wet Play?
If it's like, you know, one of the, you know, the funniest teachers or whatever your tagline is, if you just like were just like, oh, this American Wet Play, they'd all be like, yeah, come on, baby.
And the picture's gonna be like me on a slide in like a proper British like yellow rain jacket.
But you gotta be inside.
No,
I'm loving how this plan's coming together.
Oh my God, I cannot wait to have some Wet Play over there. It's gonna be fantastic.
I'm shocked you've never been there, Joe.
Never. Yeah, me either. And I honestly have like such a wild fan base over there. It's really something. Okay, yeah, wait. Adam, does your story have to do with Wet Play, or how do we even get here?
No, it doesn't. Yeah. It's more. So this is just dead. These two dead quick ones. I'll go through them dead quickly. So deputy head or vice principal was observing this teacher.
Deputy head is going to be my porn name. That's it. Deputy head.
If you were deputy head starring in Wet Play, that could go big. I'm telling you that right now.
We are opening the OnlyFans right after this. Done.
So deputy head was coming to observe this teacher, but was late. So the teacher started the lesson about volcanoes erupting. Whilst being lost in the reenactment, the teacher moved towards the door, showing the speed of flow from the lateral blast of the volcano. In one swift movement, she flung her arms out and smacked the deputy head in the face as he walked through the door.
Oh my God.
See, but that's another one where I feel like it might give you some sympathy. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we had that awkward moment. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, like, or if you made the most of it and said to the children, like, look at the lava spilling from his nose.
Yeah, you could use it to your advantage for sure. Like if he marked you down, you could just be like, oh, actually, I was frazzled.
I was engaging in some Wet Play with the deputy head.
I love how dirty it just sounds so much dirtier now. I literally say that stuff every day.
But you never thought it sounded dirty when you guys were Wet Playing?
We don't join in the Wet Play.
All right, but I just on the.
Often. I actually hate Wet Play. I hate it. I hate when.
So does my wife.
Again, it's just like why. But yeah, when the playtime gets rained off, it's. But you know, as long as you've got good stuff in the Wet Play box, it keeps everyone happy.
Real good.
That can be applied to most things in life.
Wait, real quick before I do want to hear your next story too, but what was I going to say? It totally left. I was going to ask something about school over there. Fuck
Joe's just picturing his tour right now.
All I've been thinking about is deputy head comes for the West.
I really can see you in I could see you in the Buckingham Palace police uniform, just sliding down the slide.
Wet. Yeah,
down the slide.
No, actually, I've thought about this for years. My UK promo video, I'm going to do a Spice Girls, but it's going to cut and I'm going to be it'll probably be 5 cities and I'll be a different Spice Girl lip syncing a song and it'll say what city. It'll be Leeds, Manchester, Essex, blah, blah, blah. Oh, wait, Adam, before we go to the next story, have you watched RuPaul's Drag Race UK on the BBC?
No, I haven't, unfortunately.
I'm watching it. I'm watching that right now and Great British Baking Show.
Yeah, Great British Bake Off. That's an absolute go-to. But that's another one that's where I don't know what it is with the British, but they can make something so innocent sound so filthy. You know, when they're going on about soggy bottoms and all that kind of stuff, it's there's clearly some, underlying issues. And when they put it in the mouth and they say it's so moist, it's done purposely, I swear.
But you guys are very a sexualized culture without really trying to be. I feel because I don't know.
I was going to say I try all the time.
Well, when I was young, I remember I was in England and you guys had like pornography on the hotel on regular TV or nudity at least.
Yeah, it's not like it here. It's a totally different. And Adam, could you drink a beer on your lunch break? Would that be like no big deal?
What, at school?
Yeah.
No way. Nah.
Wait, like, really?
Oh, no, you couldn't. No, you couldn't. Like, literally, no alcohol in school at all. Like, when the kids are there, nothing.
But that makes sense. I mean,
that makes sense. Okay, that was me being a stupid American. Shame on me. Shame on me. Donald Trump has dropped in my brain.
Yeah. The thought of cracking a cold one at lunchtime.
Like,
honestly, if you didn't tell me, I would have like been a substitute teacher, and I just would have been like, "Oh, we're having a pint, are we? Gonna come down to your chimney. Let's do it. It's wet play, everyone. How did you do? It would have been that.
You're on the side with the.
Are you in Australia there?
I would have been wasted at recess. I would have been like, "Hey, let's do it." That would have been me.
Yeah, it wouldn't be raining, and you'd be shouting "wet play." Like, no.
Honestly, it could be like June, and I would have been like, "Wet play, motherfucker!" That would have been me.
But it is a rainy city. Well, where are you
drinking city. It's a drinking city, right?
I'm Manchester. Yeah, Manchester's. Yeah, it's like city. We like to think it's like the musical capital of the UK, with obviously like Oasis and Stone Roses and all that kind of stuff. The Smiths.
Well, just so you know, I'm in the birthplace of Nirvana right now, so
that's impressive. I'm still taking Oasis though.
Okay,
I mean, he's got the Beatles.
He's got the Beatles and all 5 Spice Girls. I think you win.
I'm One Direction.
Oh, all right. Well. They're pretty big.
I was a big Directioner back in the day.
Where are you?
Oh.
Yeah. Harry Styles, actually, when I go on the motorway to drive to my wife's from Birmingham. Obviously, she's in Manchester now with me. But when we drive to Birmingham, we always drive past like the little town that Harry Styles is from.
What's it called?
Oh, God.
Must be super important.
Every time I see it, I'm like, Harry Styles from there.
Their whole economy is probably based on that.
Yeah,
that's really, really upset me that I can't remember that. I feel like I've let all my Directioners across the world down.
Yeah.
Here you are bragging how you're the biggest fan ever.
I know, yeah. And I can't even think about where the main guy's from. What's it?
Sure, a real One Directioner, are we? Anyway, let's take this in one direction. Can you hit us with another story? Do you have another one? You said you had 3.
So this actually happened recently to one of my friends. So she got 2 kind of like an outside agency to come in and do like a respect program with her class. So 2 people who were coming in and teaching them some stuff. And the head teacher said, "Oh, if you don't mind, I'm going to come and observe kind of what they're doing." So she was only observing the outside agency, but it fell on the teacher that had booked them. So she told the class, like, be respectful, be sensible. The head teacher's coming in. So these 2 people came in, man and a woman, and they introduced themselves to the class and they said, "Hi, my name is Gary, pronouns he, him." And then the woman goes, "Hi, my name is Jane, pronouns she, her." And then one kid went, "Hi, my name's Michael Jackson, my pronouns are he, he." Like that.
No.
Did they like it?
Well, no, the respect people didn't like it because I think they were there to try and like teach them to
break that down.
Exactly. The head teacher was kind of like head in hands because obviously the kids are representing that school, and then obviously the teacher just wanted to die because it was. But then it's one of them. I feel sometimes teachers and school staff, they're worth the weight in gold because some stuff that happens in class, for you not to react to it, you deserve some sort of medal there. Like some of the funniest stuff can happen and you're not, like if a child falls over, like, and obviously, as long as they don't hurt themselves, but even anyone falling over. I remember one girl once, we said to her, in class. We said, can you go and give Mr. Shaughnessy a message? Just go and tell him that he needs to log on to this Teams meeting now. And this girl went, yeah, and ran straight into the door. And we were like, I was honestly like, I was sat, are you okay? And she was kind of like, you're not laughing at you. And I was just like biting my lip like, no, not at all.
I'm just very concerned. I used to do this thing at the end of the day where the kids, this was actually during an observation, by the way, I was getting the kids ready to transition into the end of the day routine. And the way that I'd always do that is I'd pick a stick. And if I picked your name, you get to tell me one animal. And whatever animal you said, I would type it into YouTube and we would just watch a quick YouTube video of that animal, like a 2-minute video so the kids could just be calm while other kids are packing up, right? So I picked this one girl and she was being a smartass. She's like, sushi. And I'm like, sure. So I typed in sushi and it was a video of these people putting live baby octopuses on chopsticks and then eating them, but the tentacles were like squiggling all over their face. And this other little girl goes, I think I'm gonna, she literally looked at me. She goes, I think I'm gonna be sick. And then just opens her mouth. It was projectile. Like, honestly, it was a full tube, just straight, going straight. And I looked at it, and like as it was coming out, I literally go, oh my God. It was just laughing. I felt so bad for laughing, but I had never seen someone real life exorcist like the devil come out of somebody's throat like that. And she was so little and it went so far. It was just like, oh my God. It was intense. It was fascinating.
Kids throwing up in the class is just fascinating because they always miss the garbage pail. It's like no matter how much you put the pail in front of them, they throw up on your hand. You're like holding it. You're like, here's the pail. They throw up right on your hand or they throw up on the side of the pail. They move all the furniture and they do like that dog convulsions. Like
if someone's sick in your class, like what do you put on it?
What do you mean? Like, do I give them cat
litter? We
litter?
don't touch it.
Yeah, how do you tidy it up? Because over in the UK, we obviously
call the janitor. Yeah,
we do we can put like sawdust on it, or there's this like white powder that you kind of put on it and it soaks it all up.
We go to training to make sure we never touch it ever.
That's true.
This kid threw up right on the playground, and one of the women got the powder and poured the powder all over the sick. Then quickly went to go and get a chair to kind of, stand on it so no one went near it. As she quickly went to get the chair and came back, there was children making snowmen.
No! Oh my God.
And we were saying, one of them would be like, oh, no way, I found a nose.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness gracious. What a way.
What a way to end.
Wait, you can't end. I've got one more for you.
Okay, one more. Hit us.
One more, because this is, I'm hoping this
really does
give you a tickle.
Okay,
yeah.
Here we go.
So,
here we go.
I had an observation during my first year of teaching where my mentor and head teacher were both coming to see me teach. I thought it was quite harsh that they had chose to do it during the puberty topic with my year 5s. So they're 9 and 10-year-olds.
Totally unfair.
I thought I was being well prepared by giving my class the heads up about what we were talking about next lesson and providing an anonymous question box for anyone who wanted something answered without putting their hand up. So the observation happens, and I thought it was going pretty well. My class were great, and I'd nailed my input and activity. We'd gone through some misconceptions, and I left 5 minutes at the end for the question box.
Oh, no.
Trying not to look smug in front of my adult audience, I grabbed the box thinking, just get through a couple of these, and I'm home scot-free. I reach in and pull out a slip of paper and read it aloud. Why does my mum's front bum have a beard?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Never in my life will my smugness disappear so quickly. Then it gets worse. Listen to this. After all the laughter had settled, I tried to ignore the smirks from both my mentor and head teacher as I explained the actual scientific words for pubic hair and vagina before explaining how adults' choice of length of hair is a personal thing. That absolutely killed me.
While being observed.
But that's one of those where you say. But that's one of those where you say how teachers are just like masters at disguising it because they probably were just like, "Great question, honey."
We did the same thing when we would teach sex ed. Gaspare, you never had to teach sex ed, did you?
I did once, and a kid asked me. I only did it. They needed me for an emergency because I was teaching sign language at the time, and I said, "Ask me anything you want." And a kid said, "If I finger a girl and I have dirt on my hands because I was playing football, can I give her a disease?" And I was like,
"Oh God!"
I was like, "Wait, dirt, fingers." I was like, "I mean, you could give her like I was like, not like an STD." I was like,
but like a staph
I was like,
infection.
She can get like an infection because you have dirt. And he was like, "Shit." And I was like, "Okay, moving on."
I had a kid. We did the question box, the anonymous question box too. These two questions stand out so strongly. One kid said, "Where does the bone in my penis go?"
Good question. I wonder mine as well.
Where did it go? I mean, that one was logic. This one threw me for a loop. This kid asked, I don't know if we'll air this one. Do black boys have black penises? And I laughed so hard because this guy literally thought that just all people are born white and they're just like dipped in black, but not your penis. Like, that is insane. Like, the thought process of that is just like, how are you? Another kid one time asked me, can a woman's egg be hatched outside of her body? Hatched.
Can it? No, I'm
just kidding. Gaspare, we're not birds.
I'm kidding. I know.
Anyway, hey guys, thanks for listening to the Social Studies Podcast. But this is what I want you to do. I want you to go find Adam on Instagram. Adam, go tell them where they can find you and where they can listen to the podcast and consume more of your stuff.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so if you go to @2MrP's podcast on Instagram, you'll find me there. If you go to Podcast Parky, that's Podcast Parky on TikTok. And then if you go to 2MrP's podcast.com, that's the number 2 Mr. P's podcast.com, you'll get all the episodes from me and my brother, including a chinwag with the one and only Mr. D there. We'll have to have you on as well, Gaspare. We'll have to get you.
Yeah, I would love to.
And I also have got a brand new podcast out called Adam and Cockney John's Big Movie Podcast. So if you're into movies and you want to hear silly reviews, honest reviews from two guys who don't take themselves too seriously, search Adam and Cockney John's Big Movie Podcast wherever you get your podcast. Thanks so much for having me. I've honestly loved it. Cheers.
Thank you.
For sure. Thanks for having on.
Guys, just so you know, it's like 3 a.m. for Adam right now.
For sure. Gaspare, where can they get tickets to your shows?
Just go to GaspareRandazzo.com, GASPARE, Randazzo.com.
And for me, MrD3.com. We love you guys so much. Thanks for listening to the Social Studies Podcast, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.